Are you fearful of heart, or do you find yourself at a lack for words or faced with a physical weakness or disability? One afternoon, a young Russian man by the name of Ildas approached the platform in one of our outdoor events. This young man was so excited he could hardly wait to tell others what God had done for him. I was speaking when Ildas decided it was time to share his story. Ildas was so full of joy. He was pointing at his heart as if to say, "I am not alone. Something has happened in my heart." Just as Ildas opened his mouth to speak, my husband arrived at the meeting. This young man was now grunting into the microphone, pointing at his heart. I remember my husband looking at me as if to say, "Why is this guy on the platform? He's not normal and he can't speak." Have you ever felt rejected because you're different or because you lack skills that other people seem to come by easily? I know that Ildas felt all alone. He had been rejected by his family, living on the streets, living off garbage, and wandering about aimlessly. He had little to live for. In fact, one of our team members had just taken him into his very own home. The next evening at our event, as my husband was speaking, Ildas once again approached the platform. Several of us were attempting to get my husband's attention because something very different was about to unfold. Kevin kept saying, "Don't give that guy the mic." But finally we prevailed, and when Ildas took the microphone, he began to speak in perfect Russian. And then Ildas reached into his pocket, pulled out a card, and showed the audience his special medical ID. And to our shock, he told us this card classified him with the highest level of mental retardation. He looked at the crowd and said, "You know me. I'm the guy that begs from the trash cans. But something happened to me last night. Jesus came into my room while I was sleeping, and he put his finger on my forehead and on my tongue, and for the first time in my life, the fog has cleared from my mind. For the first time in my life, I can think and speak clearly." In 2010, an award-winning historical British film called The King's Speech documented the life of King George VI of Great Britain. He was known as the stuttering king and dreaded public speaking, a responsibility every monarch was expected to do often and to do well. In 1925, he gave a closing speech at Wembley Stadium in London. The speech was a terrible ordeal for both him and his listeners. Stuttering through it with lengthy pauses, everyone waited for it to end. Psychologists tell us anyone can stutter if pushed too far. A very stressful situation or a very aggressive interrogation or conversation can cause anyone to stutter. However, most children grow out of stuttering. In both stories, Ildas and King George VI both needed help. Ildas needed a miracle, and God reached into his world and healed his heart and his mind. King George did not grow out of his childhood stuttering, and he required intensive therapy. As Germany threatened to invade England, King George rallied his strength, faced the nation, and found the resolve to inspire the nation as England declared war on Hitler. King George rose above his difficulties to lead a nation into war. With the help of Australian-born speech therapist Lionel Loke, he rose above his disability and courageously inspired a nation to action. The prophet Isaiah said, "The fearful heart will know and understand, and the stammering tongue will be fluent and clear." If you are fearful today, there are both practical and spiritual solutions available to you. Ildas, born with mental retardation and an inability to speak, received a miracle from God. And I want you to know that miracles are available today. Yet, King George discovered practical tools to overcome his stuttering and dislike of public speaking. Regardless of your situation, Today, you can rise above whatever holds you back and discover that you have a friend with God. He will come to you today and reconcile whatever distresses you. Just say these simple words with me. Come into my life, Lord. Release me from the fear that holds me back. Like ill does, heal my heart and touch my mind. Whether you are in search of a miracle or practical tools, I encourage you today, go to my website. We are here to help you. We have made tools available to you that will change your life.